Okay, so first let me explain how Python going to
Your
execute.
voice is very low, Manasa, to me.
So okay, now hello,
Yeah. Yeah.
is it
Could
okay
could
now?
could be made.
Can't talk more than this.
It's actually like going low and up, I guess.
Is it okay, Deepa now?
Huh.
Okay, so see, like I will tell you how Python going to execute a program. Whenever we write some program and whenever we start execute, what it will do in backend, we are going to look it into today. I already explained you, but today I'm gonna explain you again. Okay. So user, okay. So the user going to write some Python script and he is going to save the file with .py extension. You can give any name like sample you can give or name one any name you can give and the extension should be .py. Okay, the extension should be .py. Then it will understand it as a Python file. If you give extension as .java, then it's going to consider that as Java file. If you give .cpp, it's going to consider that as a C++ file. Okay, like that, you need to give .py to store a Python file. Okay, the name along with .py extension. Okay, so you write some code and you save that file with .py. For example, I'm storing the file as sample.py. Okay, sample.py. So whenever you run the code, okay, we need to run the code. For example, here I am running this. Whenever I'm going to click on run, right? So whenever you click on run, what will happen? So the interpreter, Python interpreter will be there. So in other languages, we are going to have compiler and interpreter as well. But here in Python, we are going to have interpreter only. Okay. So I already told you, computer can understand the language in the form of zeros and ones. Okay, in the form of zeros and ones. Mission understandable language. Okay, zeros and ones. Okay, hope you understood.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then what interpreter will do, in normally in other languages, the whole code, okay, like in Java or C++, the whole code it's going to convert at a time. But in Python, it will convert line by line. Okay, it will take one line and it will convert that into mission understandable language like zeros and ones. And if there is any error, okay, if there is any error in that line, it will stop execution with that line and it will give you the error message. Okay, at so and so line, I'm facing so and so error. Like that, it will give you. Okay, it's going to, for
Each line it's
example, yeah, I have
given
10
that.
lines of code. I have 10 lines of code. So it will start execution with first line. It will execute the first line and it will convert that to zeros and ones. Means mission understandable language or byte code. Then it will go to second line. Okay, in second line also I don't have any issues. Then it will go to third line. In third line I did some mistake, some syntax error, some mistake I did. So it will stop execution with the third line and it will return the error at third line, so and so error is there, like that it will return. Okay,
Okay.
from fourth line it won't execute. If you have error in third line, it won't execute the code after third line. It will stop execution with third line. Okay,
Okay. Wherever the error
yes,
is going to happen.
yeah. So that's why we are going to call Python as interpreted language, as it's going to execute line by line. Okay, it will take line by line and it will convert to bytecode or mission understandable language, that is zeros and ones. So if everything is fine, all 10 lines of code, I don't have any issue with the 10 lines of code, then it will convert the code to byte, then it will convert the code that written by us to bytecode or mission understandable language. Then computer will run that code and will give you the output. Okay,
Okay.
yeah, see, write a high level Python code, save the code in .py file, interpret the code. Interpret the code I explained. No, it will convert the code that you written to mission understandable language. Okay, it will generate bytecode or mission understandable code. Both are same, and the output will get printed on the screen. Okay, this is how
All right.
Python will execute a file and how it will produce output to you. Okay,
Hmm.
so hope it's clear.
Yes.
Then we can see today what are the keywords we have in Python. We have different keywords. I will explain you few. Okay, keywords. Keywords are like reserved words. Okay, reserved words in Python.
Words are reserved. Okay.
Yes, reserved word. They already had some meaning in Python. So, for example, if I take int is an keyword. See, normally, if that is not a keyword, you can see that in black color. But if it is a keyword, it's going to give you green color. It is a keyword. Python already took take this integer as a int as a keyword, and it kept some meaning for that. The meaning for that is int refers to integer type data. Okay, int refer to integer type data. Okay,
Okay. Okay.
if is also a keyword. This we are going to use for conditional checking. Like I will explain you what are conditional statements. If something is true, then perform this action. If something is false, perform this action. So in those cases we are going to use if. Okay, that is for
Okay.
making decisions. And we have loop as well. Looping, why we are going to use looping means, if I want to if I want to use, or if I want to write multiple lines or single line multiple times. Okay, for example, I want to write 2 lines of code 10 times, or I want to print
Mm-hmm.
your name 10 times, Deepa, 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 like that 10 times. If I need to write, if I need to do, instead of writing 10 lines of code, we can use looping. Okay, so such a keywords are there. I will share the keywords list with you. Those are all reserved words. Those reserved words we can't use as variable name. Okay, those we can't use as
Okay.
variable. For example, so I told for is already a keyword. Okay, if you try to give some value to that, and if you try to print for, it will give you error. See, invalid syntax. You are going to get invalid syntax whenever you use reserved keywords to store. If whenever you use reserved keywords as variables, it will give you like this syntax error, invalid syntax. We can't use reserved keywords as variable names. Okay,
Okay. Reserved.
reserved words like keywords we can't use as variable names.
Okay. Got it.
Okay. And I forgot to explain a few rules for creating variable names. Let me explain you variable name naming rules. Okay. So first one, it shouldn't start with number or any other characters. It shouldn't start with numbers or any other characters except underscore. Okay. Start shouldn't start with numbers and special characters except underscore. Like you can start with alphabetics. Okay, you can start with alphabetics or underscore. Okay, only though with those two you can start a variable name, but you can't start a variable name with numbers or special characters. Okay,
Okay.
start with alphabetics or underscore. Only with these two you can create you can start a variable name. Okay, and even in middle you can use underscore only. Okay, you can't use any special characters in middle of that variable name as well. You can use only underscore. Okay,
Okay.
in middle of the variable name also. For example, I have first name, so I
Mm-hmm.
want to separate. First is different and name is different, and like I want to separate those for a better understanding. You can do like this, first underscore name, but you can't do like this, first first name, or dollar. You can't use dollar. So such a things you can't do. You can use underscore only. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, these are the naming rules for variable. Okay.
Okay.
And we have input and output functions. Today I will tell you what are the input function and what is the output function. Okay, I want to give some input. Okay, I want to take some input from the user. Okay, at that time we have the function called input. So name equals to, see, previously I showed you like this, Manasa. Every time I need to change here, but instead of that, if I need to take a user, like a name from the user, like if I can give Manasa or Deepa, anything I can give, not constant. If I
No.
give like this is
What is
constant.
input and output? The distinguish that you have given for input and output. Can you come again on that?
So input, we are going to give some data to execute the file or to execute the code. We are taking the input from user,
Okay.
and output, the system going to produce the output based on the logic that you've written. Okay.
Okay. Generating the code.
Yes.
Okay.
This is actually constant. If you give like this, name equals to Manasa, if you give like this, that is constant. Instead of that, I want to take names randomly. At that time you can use input. Okay, and you can print name. If you run, the cursor will wait for you to give the input. It will ask you to give the input. See, here I gave the input here itself, but if you use this input function, it will, after execution, it will wait for your input. I can give Deepa, and if I give enter, it will give the output as Deepa. Okay, again if you run, and if you give Manasa, and if you give enter, it will give Manasa. Again if you run, you can give like this, you can give any name on each run.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that is input function. Okay,
Okay.
and output function, in Python, the output function is print. Okay,
Print. Yeah.
yeah, print is used to print or write the data to the output screen. Print or write data to the output screen. Okay, it will give you the output. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so see here, I am taking a is equals to 1000, print a.
Thousand. It's gonna come.
Yeah.
Mm.
So
Okay.
in Jupyter Notebook, you no need to use print, but in Visual Studio Code or in other original projects and all, actual projects and all, we are going to use this print. Whenever we want to print some data to output screen, we need to use this print statement. Okay, these are the input and output statement. This is input statement, and this input by default it's going to consider the input as string type. Okay,
String type.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
by default it will take string type. Okay, but here as of now I gave names. Okay, now just I want to give 100. Okay, now it printed 100, but see the output in single quotes, what it is mean, it is a string, but I want to take integer, not string. I want to take integer. At that time you need to convert it by using int. So to convert any data type to integer, you should use this int keyword, int. Now if you run and if you give 100, 1000, see now it is integer. You can check the type as well here. See, this is int. Before this int, If you check, it's going to consider that as string. Okay, by default the input going to consider the data as a string type. Okay, and based on your requirement, if you want to convert that to integer data type, you can use int function. I will explain you the type conversion in one class, but this is how we can do. Okay, hello,
Yeah.
is it clear?
Yeah. String up to string, I've understood, and further, it's kind of a confusing. Maybe I
The
think
type
I would be
conversion
needing
I
examples.
the type conversion I will
String, I've understood.
type
Yeah. Further, it was a bit
conversion,
confusing.
it will take around 20 minutes like that. I will prepare some notes and I will explain you what kind of type conversion we can do. For that, first we need to cover all the data types. Once after covering all the data types, I will explain you the type conversion. Okay,
Mm. Yeah.
is it clear for now? You have any doubts?
So far, I think it's better. Yeah. But in the end, I got a bit confused because further it's gonna be.
The type conversion is one of the concept. I will explain you that.
Yeah. That is the only thing. The rest everything is fine.
See, these are the keywords in Python: false, none, true, and as, asset, async, await, break, class, continue, def, del, elif, else. For each of these keyword, there is one purpose. Okay, for each of this keyword, there is one purpose. So whenever we are going to use, at the time I will explain you. Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
okay.
Mm.
Any doubts for now?
No, Manas.
The type conversion will take that some time. So